Hello everyone, thanks for watching this video. My name is Woody Adams with Intuit, and the demo is going to focus on some of the key cleanup tools in QuickBooks Accountant, key features that'll save you time when you're getting the trial balance shored up and ready to go to the tax program. In this case, I'm going to be going to Lacerte. So part of this demo, I'm also going to show you how the Smart Map functionality will automatically populate balance totals in the appropriate input fields in Lacerte, and how that's going to obviously save you time, even going forward this year as well as next year, because the more files that I go ahead and map over to Lacerte kind of builds this Smart Map database of where the appropriate account balance would go to the appropriate input field. All right, so how we can save you time both on the QuickBooks side when you get the client file and then getting it over to Lacerte, and even a little bit on a good report to run. So quickly talk about file transfer options. With the accountant's copy, of course, one key feature is that you can get a small transfer file from your client and convert it to an actual working file. It's in a QuickBooks accountant's copy file, similar to a working file, and you can make a lot of your changes there and then even send that over to Lacerte, those balances. But the changes you make, you can send back to your client's file. And they can just import the changes without having to overwrite it with a backup or something like that. So I do like the accountant's copy for saving time as far as the file transfer process goes. If you're not sending any changes back, just get a backup or a portable file works really well too. But we want their file to be as clean as our version of it. We figure, and I mean your client's file. Another way too is the journal entry, where you can go to make general journal entries. There's also the ability to send the journal entries back to your client's QuickBooks 2013. So, and it just, again, it's an import. It just supports journal entries, but also would save you time in the collaborating with your client. So the send journal entry under the accountant menu as well, and you can get there from the actual journal entry window too. And then another thing I wanted to show in the Accountant Edition, the batch enter transactions. This is where you can just go to quickly enter or import a bunch of checks. I shouldn't say import, really. It's just copy pasting, like 1,000 checks or something, or importing. And it really supports checks, deposits, and credit card charges or credit card credits. So it's kind of a batch input. So these are the key features of QuickBooks Accountant, as well as the journal entry itself. You can make an adjusting entry, right? And that correlates to an adjusting entry report. And also, if you guys are running the adjusted trial balance report, you'll see all the adjustments that were flagged with an adjusting entry. So how about cleanup though? Talk a little about collaboration and quickly working with the client file. When you get it, you have some things to clean up. And the Accountant Edition also has a fully functioning robust client data review feature. And I'm actually going to go ahead and open up the client data review, the external accountant user. That is the user for you guys. It separates your changes from other users in the file. It's kind of a fail-safe. It would pull your changes on the audit trail. That would be the accountant, the external accountant user. But the client data review, you're going to be reviewing 2012. I'm sure you're still doing that. Choose your basis. You click Start Review. And then I'm just going to quickly overview for account balances. This is where you'd shore up the prior period balances. So you're reviewing 2012, but you probably also reviewed 11. You want to make sure that they didn't delete something or void something that would throw off the prior account balances. So you would troubleshoot that, and it's very much a spreadsheet looking window. You can also batch or classify miscoded transactions. All right. So, and you can even change them from a P&L account to a balance sheet account, etc., whatever that scenario would be, and even batch reclassify for classes if you like. Then you can review any changes to the key item lists, like items, chart of accounts, fixed assets, and payroll items. I can fix unapplied customer payments and credits both on the customer and vendor side. So let's say they entered a bill, but they also wrote a check, right? Or they have an invoice, but they just deposited the payment right into the register without actually applying it to the invoice. Those things, and you have all this AR and AP on the balance sheet, and you got to go clean it up. So this will allow you to apply it quickly, even undeposited funds, and you can write off invoices in a batch. There's many other things. One of the favorites is when our clients will use regular checks to pay off sales tax, right? Instead of using the actual, to pay off the sales tax items using the sales tax payment check. So that'll make it also very quick for you, and you can clean that up in a batch. So you can track the status any task notes you'd like, and even review notes would be kind of firm notes for other people, other staff, I should say, or peers that are working in the same file. You're kind of tag teaming it. Task notes would go back to the client. So you have kind of client notes versus firm notes that the clients wouldn't see. You can run an audit trail to review, save it as a PDF, and then mark it complete. And now we're done with our cleanup. Another thing to show would be just where you'd go if you do have some gap compliant or peer review reports. Please use a QuickBooks Statement Writer, also a feature of QuickBooks Accountant Edition. Right? And this works with Excel, has a live link back to the data file, so you can zoom in on the actual field or the cell in the Excel report and see the numbers behind the numbers. And what's nice is you only have to build the report or the template once. And then when you open this file, open up QuickBooks Statement Writer, choose your report template, it'll just update with the current data. So again, saving you time on the report side, saving you time on the cleanup of the file, as well as the collaboration with your client and file transfer process. Now we want to go ahead over and export our balances to Lacerte and look at the actual time savings using the Smart Map capability on the Lacerte side in the trial balance utility. So I'm going to go to the File menu, Utilities, Export, and you see that balances of Lacerte tax, or under the Accountant menu, very bottom option, balances to Lacerte tax. And it finds 2012 Lacerte. I click OK. And there's my Lacerte. And it's opening up the trial balance utility. First, it's going to ask me to add the client, or you can match it to one that's existing. I'm going to go ahead and add the client. It's a new client for Lacerte this year. And I'm going to go ahead and choose my client ID, and it's Business Income Schedule C. I'll click OK. And then I can choose my basis. In this case, I'm doing the accrual basis. It's for calendar year 2012. Click OK. And now the Smart Map technology is already in play. Because I've brought over 2 company files before I did this presentation, there's 21 accounts are consistent with this QuickBooks company file that we were just looking at. So it's already, based on the Smart Map database, has mapped the appropriate fields for 21 of the accounts. So then 45 of the accounts remain unmapped after Smart Map, and I'm going to go through that process and show you how to map quickly right now. But as you can imagine, this would be an example of the more company files I bring over, and even if you consider for next year, I should have to map less and less. And Smart Map should be able to take care of any account already, except for any new accounts that have been added throughout that particular tax year. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And this is the trial balance utility within Lacerte. It gives me all of my accounts that came over from the QuickBooks file and their type, and the prior end tax, unadjusted book, etc., and the tax balance that will go to the field. You can then go click on journal entries if you want to make some journal entries for those accounts and just add a journal entry here, click on the tab below. Typically you will have already done this though on the QuickBooks side using your Accountant Edition. And then here's the tax line assignment tab. Notice everything in red hasn't been mapped yet, and I'm going to show you how to map that. And what you do is just under the Smart Map column over on the right, just click the little eyeglass there, and it's going to open up my Smart Map window. So we're in the Smart Map window. I have all the accounts on the left. The red ones still have to be mapped. And if you notice, the black ones are the ones that were mapped because those are similar accounts that Smart Map recognizes from bringing over other QuickBooks company files. So you can see where the time savings will be once you map them all. I mean, you're going to have a lot of industries that have consistent chart of accounts, so you're going to have to map less and less, and it'll just auto-populate the appropriate field for you, and you just post it to the return. Right, there's the time savings for the Smart Map and the Lacerte side. And I can show unassigned accounts only, but first let's go over the window. Obviously here the input sheet over on the right, and Smart Map is going to let me know which is the one I should be on printer supplies and expense account, so business income, right? So I'm going to be able to go ahead and put that in the appropriate expense account. Now, if I want to see all screens, because Smart Map is going to have me be on the one that it thinks I should be on based on the type of account, right? And I'm glad it does that thinking for me, by the way. But I can check off the box, show all screens, and here are all the different accounts for the 1040 or Schedule C, the different screens, I should say. And you can choose, wages, salaries, tips, or go to interest income, or whatever you feel the appropriate field would be. That is where, miscellaneous income, etc. That is where you're going to go ahead and do that. So you have access to that, or you can just uncheck the box and again use the screens, the input sheets that SmartMap has chosen for you based on the accounts that you have there on the left. Now, I did add a bunch of sub-accounts under both automobile expense and office supplies in QuickBooks, and why I did that is because I can actually bring over groups of accounts to the appropriate field. So, for example, I have printer supplies. I can control-click paper, coffee, and all these three are going to go to the appropriate expense account here on this input sheet. And in my case, down below, I'm going to choose office expense and just click in here, and it brings the amounts for those balances right here. And then I can click on the little icon on the right, and it shows the accounts and the amount for each one. So you can kind of drill in, if you will, on the total number in that field. I also did it for the auto expense. So I have some fuel there, oil changes, registration on repairs, insurance, etc. And I can just go ahead to my automobile expense and do the very same thing, right? Just moves it over, and I can drill in to see the amount there. Now, again, the black accounts have already been populated, or SmartMap has already moved them. I can check the box to show unassigned accounts only, and here are just the red ones. So I can go through my accounts and then put them in the appropriate field, like making copies would actually go to a particular revenue account. And in this case, I'm just going to put it into gross receipts and sales, and there it is. So you can see the account. Added that balance right there for making copies. And so now when I bring over a file next time that has all of these accounts, SmartMap in the trial balance utility is going to just auto-fill them to the appropriate fields on the input sheets for me. So I'll have less and less to map, and then therefore it saves me time. And hopefully you guys are seeing that. That's the big difference maker with SmartMap in Lacerte with the integration with QuickBooks and balances coming over. So let's go back to the trial balance utility. I'm going to go ahead and close this for now, and now I'm back in the trial balance utility here. And when you close out, then you can go ahead and post to the return. You'll see the option. I can come back and do some more work later if I feel like it. I'm going to click close, and there you go. Do you want to post to the tax return there? I would click yes. So again, to sum up, SmartMap remembers how you mapped for next year, right? But also just for the remainder of this tax season, as you bring more company files over and map it, the SmartMap database will just go ahead and expand to include those accounts as well. So less and less accounts should you need to map, and therefore more time savings. And for sure, you literally cannot manually type in the balances as fast as you can highlight, drag, and drop using the SmartMap. I hope that was helpful. You guys have a great day.